If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The NFL world is in absolute shock tonight. And if you think you've seen it all, think again, because the Cleveland Browns just dropped a bombshell that no one, and I mean no one, saw coming. Reports are swirling like wildfire that the Browns are considering a move that could shake the very foundation of their offense. A move so daring and unexpected that fans are still pinching themselves to make sure it's real. At the center of this hurricane is none other than Shedeur Sanders, the young quarterback who has been touted as one of the most promising talents coming into the league. People have been watching his progress with keen eyes, analyzing every throw, every snap, every audible in practice and in games, and yet despite all the build-up and hype, whispers from inside the Browns organization suggest that they are actively exploring a trade, potentially flipping the script on the team's entire strategy, and leaving analysts scrambling to understand what could possibly be the rationale behind such a high-stakes gamble that has left social media buzzing, podcasts exploding, and fans divided in ways that make this offseason feel like the middle of a thunderstorm. With no clear forecast or end in sight, the timing of this alleged move could not be more dramatic. Imagine the heat, the pressure, and the speculation as insiders suggest that the Browns are not just tinkering with backups or minor tweaks. They are talking about potentially moving Shedeur Sanders, a player whose presence on the roster has been central to their offensive identity and long-term plans. Conversations in the league hint that this isn't a knee-jerk decision. Sources claim that the front office has been quietly evaluating offers, testing the waters, and gauging interest from teams that are desperate for a quarterback with Sanders' combination of arm talent, mobility, and football IQ. Fans are already debating whether this is a masterstroke or a catastrophic blunder, with social media threads exploding with reactions ranging from disbelief to outrage to cautious optimism. The Browns brass has not confirmed any details publicly, which only fuels the fire, leaving every rumor, every cryptic social media post, and every minor statement from coaches or executives to be dissected like an ancient prophecy that could either foretell doom or unparalleled glory for the franchise. The speculation has reached levels rarely seen in NFL circles, with insiders suggesting that the Browns' willingness to explore trading Sanders could be tied to multiple factors, including salary cap considerations, locker room dynamics, or a strategic pivot aimed at maximizing draft capital. The conversations reportedly involve not only player-for-player exchanges, but also complex packages involving draft picks, conditional swaps, and perhaps even future considerations that could ripple across the league for years to come. Analysts are scrambling to create scenarios that could make sense of this audacious maneuver, debating which teams would have the appetite, the resources, and the strategic alignment to make such a bold move. Meanwhile, fans of the Browns are left with a mix of anxiety, curiosity, and disbelief, scrolling through every rumor, watching every video snippet, and listening to every podcast breakdown as if the fate of the entire season, and perhaps the franchise, hinges on whether Shedeur Sanders remains in Cleveland or finds himself in a completely unexpected new home where expectations will be sky-high and pressure even more intense than what he faces now. As the news reverberates through NFL circles, the chatter has gone global. From sports bars in Cleveland to analyst studios in New York and Los Angeles, the reactions are electric, polarized, and relentless. Some are praising the Browns for thinking outside the box, lauding the front office for a willingness to make unconventional moves in pursuit of long-term success. Others are questioning the logic, pointing to the potential disruption of team chemistry, the shockwaves through the locker room, and the fan backlash that could define the offseason narrative for months. The speculation is so intense that even casual observers are weighing in, and every post, tweet, or statement becomes a potential breadcrumb in an unfolding story that seems more like a high-stakes thriller than a sports transaction. No matter which side of the debate you land on, one thing is certain: the Browns have managed to dominate headlines, control the rumor mill, and create an atmosphere where every development, real or fabricated, will be scrutinized with feverish intensity by fans, media, and rival teams alike. Behind the scenes, sources hint that negotiations, if they are happening, are moving at a frenetic pace. Calls between executives, agents, and team personnel reportedly stretch late into the night, with each side carefully calibrating offers, counter-offers, and contingencies that could dramatically alter the trajectory of multiple franchises. The secrecy Surrounding these discussions adds another layer of tension, as leaks, half-truths, and carefully planted rumors swirl to create a narrative that is part reality, part speculation, and wholly captivating. Social media has exploded with mock trades, insider scoops, and fan theories ranging from the plausible to the outright absurd, each gaining traction in different corners of the internet, proving that when a story this big hits the league, no detail is too small and no rumor too wild to be debated as if it were gospel. The Browns' gamble, whether real or perceived, has created a spectacle, and the NFL universe is collectively holding its breath, waiting to see whether this storm will end in dramatic trade confirmation, shocking denial, or another twist no one saw coming. The emotional weight of this situation cannot be overstated. Fans who once cheered every Sanders completion, celebrated his mobility and arm talent, and invested emotionally in his development, are now grappling with uncertainty, frustration, and hope all at once. The psychological impact on the team, the city, and the fan base is profound, as speculation feeds narratives of betrayal, genius, or simply the unpredictable madness that defines professional sports. For Shedeur Sanders himself, this period represents not only professional uncertainty but personal upheaval, as rumors of trades inevitably raise questions about adaptation, leadership, and the challenge of proving oneself in an entirely new environment. The Browns have, intentionally or not, crafted a story that blends intrigue, suspense, and human drama, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond the field, making this one of the most talked about and analyzed off-season stories in recent memory. A saga that will likely dominate headlines, water cooler chatter, and social media debate for weeks, months, and possibly the rest of the year. While speculation continues, insiders are hinting at potential landing spots for Sanders, with multiple teams rumored to be in active discussions, each imagining how the young quarterback could fit into their system. Some suggest that teams with shaky QB situations might make aggressive moves to acquire him, betting on his talent and upside even if it means surrendering high draft picks or key players. Others are reportedly hesitant, wary of the baggage, pressure, or stylistic fit, showing that even in rumor form, this situation is already polarizing league executives and fan bases alike. Conversations about trades are reportedly highly nuanced, taking into account not only immediate needs but long-term projections, salary cap implications, and the ever-intangible element of team culture, creating a puzzle that may be one of the most complex in recent NFL trade history. As this storm grows, every comment, every social media post, and every leaked detail is dissected as if the league itself were holding its breath, waiting for a seismic shift that could redefine multiple franchises and send shockwaves through fans who never imagined the Browns making such a high-stakes, headline-dominating move with a player as promising and hyped as Sanders. Analysts are predicting that if a trade were to happen, it could reshape the competitive landscape of the league, potentially altering playoff trajectories, divisional battles, and even draft strategies across multiple teams. Some are speculating that the Browns could be leveraging Sanders' value to acquire multiple draft picks, perhaps targeting elite talent in positions of need, while others wonder if they are simply clearing space for a different quarterback strategy altogether. The uncertainty is driving fans and commentators into a frenzy, with debates over who would win or lose the trade if it happens, consuming every sports show, podcast, and social media thread. In this whirlwind, the narrative has become as much about the potential fallout, the psychological drama, and the shock value as it is about the player himself, demonstrating that in today's NFL, perception, rumor, and timing can sometimes wield as much power as talent and performance on the field. Inside the Browns organization, sources suggest that discussions are ongoing, private, and highly strategic, with executives weighing not only offers but also the message it sends to the locker room, the media, and the fan base. The careful orchestration of information or disinformation is reportedly part of a broader tactic to maintain leverage, control the narrative, and possibly maximize returns should a trade materialize. While no official statements have been made, the sheer volume of speculation and insider chatter has created an environment where every minor gesture, tweet, or press conference becomes fodder for rumor and analysis. This dynamic has intensified the drama, transforming what could have been a simple personnel decision into a full-blown spectacle that blends sports strategy with psychological intrigue, social media frenzy, and narrative tension that rivals any scripted drama on television. Rumors also hint that Sanders himself is aware of the talks And while professional athletes are trained to focus on performance, insiders claim that uncertainty of this magnitude inevitably affects preparation, mindset, and confidence. Even the most focused players are human, and the combination of speculation, fan pressure, and potential relocation is said to create an undercurrent of tension that is palpable in team, facilities, and practice fields. Media outlets have already begun framing potential storylines around Sanders' hypothetical trade, imagining press conferences, first games with a new team, and the ripple effects across the league, all while fans weigh in with passionate, often emotional opinions, turning this situation into an evolving narrative where the line between reality and speculation becomes increasingly blurred. If the Browns move forward, the consequences could be monumental. The team's identity, fan loyalty, and strategic direction could all shift overnight, forcing coaches, players, and staff to adapt to a new reality almost immediately. Trades of this magnitude create cascading effects that influence roster composition, depth charts, draft strategies, and even team morale, making every decision high stakes and every league critical. Rumors, whether accurate or not, create a feedback loop, amplifying fan engagement, media coverage, and internal pressure, turning an already tense situation into a full-blown saga with implications that could reverberate across the league for seasons to come, cementing this period as one of the most dramatic in Browns history. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. Some speculate that the timing of these talks is strategic, designed to send signals to other teams about the Browns' approach to player valuation, negotiation tactics, and willingness to make bold moves. By generating speculation, controlling leaks, and managing public perception, the Browns may be engaging in psychological maneuvering as much as roster management, a strategy that adds layers of intrigue and complexity to a situation that already feels like a high-stakes game of chess with real careers, fan expectations, and franchise futures on the line. Every move, every statement, and every cryptic hint is now being magnified, analyzed, and debated with fervor, making this one of the most watched and dissected rumors in recent NFL history. As the saga unfolds, one thing is certain: whether Sanders stays or goes, the Browns have succeeded in creating a narrative that dominates conversations, fuels speculation, and keeps fans, analysts, and rival teams glued to every development. The drama, suspense, and uncertainty surrounding this situation exemplify the power of rumors in sports, showing how anticipation, speculation, and media amplification can turn a potential trade into a cultural moment that transcends the game itself, as fans eagerly await confirmation, denial, or the next twist. The Browns' headline-grabbing move, real or rumored, cements their offseason as one of the most talked-about stories in football, blending sports, drama, and rumor into a spectacle that keeps everyone on edge, eagerly watching to see how this story will ultimately unfold. By the time the day concluded, the rumor had cemented itself as a central talking point across the league, dominating conversation, social media, and even casual discussions among football fans. The speculative narrative painted a vivid picture of potential outcomes, with fans imagining both triumph and heartbreak depending on the final resolution. Insider sources continued to leak partial information, maintaining tension and engagement while fueling endless debate about the strategic and emotional implications of Chubb's possible move. Analysts dissected every angle, from offensive schemes to draft implications, while social media amplified every detail, turning speculation into an all-consuming narrative. Fantasy football managers recalculated lineups, betting markets adjusted odds, and both Cleveland and Carolina fan bases engaged in heated online discussions, debating winners, losers, and potential future consequences. Podcasts, YouTube channels, and sports networks dedicated extensive coverage to the rumor, analyzing every nuance, exploring every hypothetical, and dramatizing every possible outcome. The persistent buzz demonstrated the power of a single rumor to capture the collective imagination, dominate discourse, and sustain attention across multiple platforms, leaving the NFL world captivated, speculative, and anxiously awaiting any confirmation that would either validate or explode the narrative surrounding one of the most shocking potential trades in recent memory. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!